We didn't sign Odell to trade him.
You know, I want to compete. I want to be legendary.
I just think that catch ruined him.
My goal was always to be in the Hall of Fame, to win trophies, to be able to leave a legacy.
I mean, this is one of the biggest trades we've ever seen in the history of the NFL.
This was purely a football business decision.
John Dorsey's Thanos right now.
I'm very happy to have Odell Beckham as a 17th pick in the 2019 draft.
Nobody else really matters.
I think this moment is going to be more iconic than we all realize.
The entire bar started chanting OBJ. The excitement is real, gentlemen.
I really think we're going to see the fury unleashed.
The Super Bowl down.
Let the games begin.
Buyer beware and seller beware because of the 4 key football positions for the 2 teams involved in the Odell Beckham Jr. transaction. 3 of them are now unemployed. Freddie Kitchens is gone in Cleveland. Pat Shurmur is gone with the Giants. And John Dorsey was fired. Well, mutual parting. Mutual parting my behind. He was fired on Tuesday by the Cleveland Browns when he declined to have his duties dramatically curtailed. And in certain respects, the Odell Beckham Jr. trade was the epicenter of a move that brought down both teams this year, Chris, because the Giants would have been a lot better with him, and the Browns weren't better with him.
No, they were not. And I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. was – it's 2 different spectrums here with both of these teams. I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. was, first off, 100% healthy. I'll say that just to defend him. But regardless, yes, the Browns have made moves because of – lack of being buttoned up or lack of maturity on and off the field as far as just little things, whether it was play calling, the way guys acted, whatever it may be, the way guys acted at the podium. There was just so many other issues there in Cleveland. To me, with the New York Giants, it was all football related. And that's, to me, where I think the Browns organization got totally blown up there, at least as far as GM and head coach, because they realized, no, there's some fundamental issues here. With the Giants, I think, the Giants brass thought that, we have some young talent and there's stuff to build on. I just don't think they were happy with the head coach, and that's all there was to it. So there's more work to be done in Cleveland than in New York. But I would also say I think Cleveland's roster is probably in a better spot than New York right now, too. And that's where it gets interesting as far as who gets hired where and what happens.
The challenge for the Browns is to retool the roster with leadership.
Exactly.
With guys who will hold young, immature players accountable. It is something that Odell Beckham Jr. seems to be craving. He wants to have that Patriot way descend upon Berea, Ohio, and take over the Browns. Whether that means Josh McDaniels as the head coach, that remains to be seen. But ownership has made it clear they are looking for an exceptional leader as coach. And I feel like they're toying with the idea, Chris, of shifting to the model where the coach is in charge and the GM or whatever title is given to that person is setting the table for the coach, and the coach runs the show. And the wild card in all of this is Paul DePodesta, the chief strategy officer who lives in California, but is involved in setting the table for the coaching search. If they hire his guy, it goes one way. If they hire somebody else who isn't a DePodesta guy, it goes another way. I think it's critical that whether DePodesta is there or not there, everyone needs to be on the same page. You can't have this internal friction that has characterized the Browns over the last 3 or 4 years, where you've got the football guys and the analytics guys, because when things go sideways, they blame each other.
No, you're exactly right. They got to find something that works, that's, simpatico, that, the head coach and GM are on the same page, along with they need a head coach that's, somewhat of a proven commodity. That's why, listen, I hear Mike McCarthy's name thrown out there. I understand that. I get it. He understands how to run an organization. Things are to get buttoned up. I don't think you're going to see Baker Mayfield and company and everybody spouting off at press conferences with a guy like Mike McCarthy. Josh McDaniels, the same thing. I know people will say, well, it didn't work for him in Denver the first time as a head coach. There was a lot of issues there. I can't get into all of it. But he's still a proven commodity and understands the everyday details of what makes an organization successful. And I do think both of them could add great leadership to that organization.
I really wonder what the Browns organization currently thinks, ownership currently thinks of Baker Mayfield. It's one thing to deal with those antics when he's great. Now that he is below average, and that's what he was this year, do you really want him long term? Do you want a coach that wants him, or do you want a coach that has a different plan? I think that's part of this intrigue as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.